Pandora!
Hey, you must be the new recruit. I am a CL4PTP steward bot, but you can just call me General Claptrap of the Crimson Raiders. What's your name?
Hi, and I am 4Classic, so welcome to BenchART. For today what we have in here is Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3, as you know, it is developed by Gearbox Software, the same developers throughout Borderlands 2, Borderlands pre-sequel and Borderlands 1. This game, it is the first Borderlands to use Unreal Engine 4, and logically it is way more demanding than the other Borderlands that were using Unreal Engine 3 or Unreal Engine 3.5 or 3.9. I don't really know or care about it because it was Unreal Engine 3, and Unreal Engine 4, like I said, it is way more demanding than the other titles. So on we now got access to the game, and I will show you the settings that I will be using on this video. So 1080p native resolution for now, and I decided to use a custom median settings, and I will explain why. I decided to use median settings, but then I raised the anti-aliasing to temporal AA. I enabled the sharpening filter because it is very good. I had to reduce texture quality because I was having a ton load of stuttering by playing on medium with a 2GB graphic card. If you have an R7 370 with 4GB, I'm pretty sure you can use easily that median textures, but if you have 2GB, just reduce the textures to low to avoid a lot of stuttering. Now I'm also using shadow quality on high because the difference between median and high, it's only 1 frame per second, and the graphics quality of the shadows really improve a lot. For the requirements, these guys ask for an FX 8350, 6 GB of RAM and an HD 7970, which is way more capable, both of them, the CPU and GPU, than what I have in here. And yet this is completely wrong because with the low settings I was able to get an average of 41 frames per second with a 1% low of 35. The median settings, despite I did at a frame rate between 30 to 40, there are times where the game did drop from 30 frames per second. This usually happens when there is more action on screen, and I believe that the CPU might have something to do with that too. Also, the eye settings, it is completely unplayable because it gets below 30 frames per second all the time. I believe that this is volumetric fog, the reason for that, and I also tested with my custom median settings, the settings that I'm using in this video, but with 75% of resolution scaling, which makes the game to be rendered between 720p and 900p, and by using that my experience was pretty much above 40 frames per second, which is acceptable if you play with a keyboard and mouse. It's just acceptable. It's not 60 frames per second, of course, but it is acceptable for a keyboard and mouse, and especially for a gamepad. But I don't play FPS games with gamepads, and I do prefer to play obviously with keyboards and mouse, where I think that I'm more natural playing those types of games. And 30 frames per second, in my opinion, for keyboard and mouse in an FPS game, it is a no-go. So in my opinion, I possibly would prefer to play with 75% of resolution scaling, and despite it is quite noticeable the drop in clarity of the image, at least I believe that performance it is way better. And you can also say that I could possibly play on low settings, but what I feel mostly is that when I play the game with low settings, you lose volumetric fogs, you lose pretty much a lot of detail in the shadows, pretty much you lose a ton of detail, and I do prefer to sacrifice resolution than losing a lot of the details that makes the visuals of the game what they really are, alright? And also, one of the things that the textures do work in here, like I said, with 2GB graphic card, I do recommend you to go with the textures on low. One of the things that I do notice is that the textures on close range, it seems that they are actually render at the high quality, but at the distance, with the texture quality on low, at the distance, I noticed that the textures are very bad. So I believe that this game it is using a smart way of providing the texture quality. For example, if you use the textures on low like I'm using, at the close range you get the high quality, and at some sort of a medium distance. All the assets are just low quality. So I believe that if you use textures on medium, for example, you will get the higher quality assets much more further into the distance than the low settings. So in the end, what I feel like is that playing at the low settings in the textures, it is not really that bad, because at the close range at least they are good. But yeah, it's just that the distance, they are not that good. But still, I like these implementations. I think it's far better than those games when you select low quality textures, all the textures are just blurry. That thing is awful, especially when you are overviewing an object close to you. This implementation of the textures for the game, I think it's much better, because at least the objects at close range seems to have very high quality, not just a blurry mess. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much that. As for the game itself, the game score by the critics, it is pretty much near the score of the first game. So it seems that according to the critics, the best Borderlands, it was the second one, and as far as I know, most of the gamers did enjoy Borderlands 2. I honestly never played decently Borderlands 2. I never started decently. I only finished Borderlands 1 like a couple of months ago, and I actually did enjoy the game. But what I feel about Borderlands mostly is that despite it is quite interesting RPG and it is good in my opinion, I believe most of the fun in this game can be had in co-op. I believe if you have friends to play with cooperative, that's where you need, that's where you will extract eventually all the fun of the game. But still, the game, it is very fun, the characters are very good, and you can actually get a lot of laughs in this game. That is a very good ambience and sense of ridiculousness in this game. Oh no, I said the name of a show. And that's pretty much that about the game. The game is still a little bit expensive by now, so it still costs pretty much the launch price, so between 50 to 60. But apart from that, I believe that in the future you can get the game at a much cheaper price. But for now, if you want to get the game, you still need to pay close to the full release price. But still, I think the game, it is worth it. It is a very interesting game, and it is actually playable. That's something that doesn't really happen too often recently with the Phenom II X4, so it is good at least that they offer support and that the game still actually plays reasonably well. So guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about Borderlands 3. Hope you did enjoy the video so far. I will review with a much more gameplay, a quiet one, and I do hope you enjoy it, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye guys, thank you a lot for watching.
Going in for the chop! I demand a sky burial! This is our moment!
Put these bullets into the bad guys! That's a direct order!
This is my moment! Need a reload! Easy for ya! Let me see your eyes!
Use this ammo to kill the bad guys!
I know Claptrap can be a little claptrap, but he's still one of us. You're gonna have to save him. I'll be there soon.
Recruit, there's no way your supple and delicate body can survive a showdown with Shiv unprotected. Look around for a shield. There might be a shield in that special red chest over there!
Ooh.
Join the children of the law. Now accepting new eternal salvation.
You got a shield! Now you're invincible! Not really, but it just might keep Shiv from killing you in one hit. Now let's get you in there, recruit! Hey, Shiv! All your dumb friends are dead! I challenge you to a trial by combat! But because I'm stuck to this magnet, my loyal champion shall vanquish you in my stead!
Come on in, heretic! I haven't met my sacrifice quota for the day! I'm gonna sharpen my blade on your spine! Itching for a fight. I serve a higher power!
Seemed like a nice enough fella, all things told. My kind of maniac.
Score one for the Crimson Raiders. You and Claptrap secure the area. I'm on my way.
Recruit? Are you dead? If not, get me down! The controls are on the second floor! Get off your inferior posterior! You see that I'm fat! Wow! I did it! I single-handedly took on the COV and sent them packing! Now all that's left is to signal Lilith that the mission is complete!
Up.
Lilith, I can safely report that Operation Operation Trojan Claptrap was a complete success. I did it all by myself.
I'll bet. Well, the cult's destroyed every other Crimson Raider stronghold, so this'll have to do for now. So what's your name, killer?
I'm Zane, and you're the lady from my brain.
Yeah, about that. Not the weirdest thing you're gonna see on Pandora. But seriously, thanks for answering my call. We might not have the numbers, but with a badass like you, we've got a fighting chance. Welcome to the Crimson Raiders. Pandora's a dangerous place. That grenade mod will come in handy. You should equip it before we get started. Let me know when you're ready.
Maybe I'll equip it later.
It's your funeral.
Hey, do you hear bloodthirsty screaming?
More COV. Let's see what you got, recruit.
There's too many of them! We're doomed! Doomed!
It's the Firehawk! The God Queen wants her head!
That's the family man!
I wish they were born!
A new chapter in me saga.
Hold up!
Who look at the maggot?
I stole!
Nice fighting, killer. All right, we got a foothold. Maybe things are turning our way. Come on, killer, you're with me. Let me catch you up. A while back, we found a map. Led to vaults all over the Borderlands. Dream come true, right? I didn't realize how big of a target it was.